Hello and welcome to the Marble Racing League livestream. We're here today for round 11 of Season 5 of the Marble Racing League Championship at the Red Bull Ring circuit in Austria. Now, round 11 is a bit different to the other rounds that we've had so far. So there was meant to be a sprint race last round in Jeddah, but it was cancelled. But that round was cancelled. So we have the sprint race this weekend in Austria. I think it's 36 lap race, the actual race, and then it's also a one-shot qualifying, not the usual 18-minute session. Okay, so qualifying will begin in just over 20 seconds. It'll be a very short qualifying session compared to the usual ones we have. It's usually 80 minutes long, but this time it will only be around 2 minutes because it's just a one-shot qualifying. And this will decide the grid for the sprint race, which will follow after the qualifying. Let's go on board with the reserve driver for today. That's Enzo in the Ferrari. They're currently heading through turn 2 down this very long uphill straight. Heavy braking zone into turn 3, brake just before the 100 marker board. Tight right-hander. And then we've already reached the third DRS zone of the circuit, and now we're approaching turn 5, I think. Oh no, turn 4 actually. And now we're heading towards turn 5. Two fast left-handers coming up. First one is turn 6. Let's head into turn 7 here. Just misses the apex. It's a good run out of turn 8. Now heading towards the final few right-handers. The really fast one of turn 9. Finish track limits there. Gets it all wrong coming out of turn 10. And now going to see the laps on the board. So it is William with the fastest time. Secret F1, our championship leader, is in second. Then we can see Andrew there as fourth. I don't know the rest of the grid because we'll see in a few seconds' time. Okay, so once again, it's William who is second place in the championship, who is got pole position for the sprint. And then we have Suko F1 alongside him on the front row. Race Chase had a good qualifying in the Alfa Romeo. And then we have the two Red Bulls of Andrew and Trunk. Reserve driver of DJ Lewis Virus in the Mercedes. Simple's right behind him. Daryl, who I think is third place in the championship, he's in the Aston Martin and is in 8th place for the sprint. Then comes Quincy, Diego running at the top 10. Yaxt, Ultimate Mr. Puro, Racing Wheel, Ibo just outside the top 10. Okay, so the sprint race is about to begin. So it is William on the front row and Suka F1 alongside him. Let's see if that front row will remain the same for the 36 lap race, the 50% distance race later on in the live stream today. Right behind them, on the second row, is Race Chase in the Alfa Romeo and Andrew in the Red Bull, who is quite high up in the championship standings. If this is your first time joining the stream this season, we've had well, technically 9 races so far, and 6 of them have been won by our championship leader, Secret F1 in the Williams. Williams also lead the team standings. Daryl, William, and Sebastian have all won a race as well. Okay, so it's time for the first sprint race of season 5 of the Marble Racing League Championship, and we are underway. So, good start there by our pole sitter, that's William. Secret F1 tucks in behind him. Andrew looks to be getting a move down the inside of Race Chase, who goes a bit wide there. We have a yellow flag there. There was contact there, a big contact there between an AlphaTauri and Quincy in the Mercedes. And there is a McLaren there who's lost their front wing. I wonder if that is Skid Solo. Yeah, it's Skid Solo who's going alongside his teammate heading into turn 4. And now we've got Quincy going down the inside of Skid Solo, who has lost his front wing and will need to pit at the end of this lap. But let's go back on board at the front of the field. Any move going down the inside here? No. There is a move further back though. That's Racing Wheel getting ahead of Skid Solo, who's losing a lot of time on this opening lap due to front wing damage. Oh, and unfortunately DJ Lewis Virus, so the reserve driver for Mercedes today, has gone a bit wide and has lost a lot of positions. He hasn't got any damage though, so you can just continue on. There we have Verdugo then, the Haas, just ahead of Skid Solo. So into the pits comes Skid Solo, who has picked up some kind of damage from contact with someone coming out of turn 1. Lots of drivers involved in that incident, so it looks like Enzo picked up a penalty, so maybe he was contact with him. Let's go on board with Enzo now. He is quite close to Racing Wheel in the Alpine. Very close further up the field between RQ44, has managed to get himself up to the points positions. He's in 9th place, just ahead of Ultimate Mr. Puro, who's only scored 3 points so far this season. There's a move there, that's an AlphaTauri, that's Yax up the inside of Ultimate Mr. Puro, who's now down into 11th place. Quincy's just behind them. I might go for a move around the outside there. And is now looking for a move down the inside of Ultimate Mr. Puro, who is starting to struggle a bit on the medium side. Yeah. Quincy, you don't see many moves there, but Quincy's managed to get up into 11th place, ahead of Ultimate Mr. Puro in 12th. Duke F1 is now the fastest lap. They're going to come across the time line to start lap 3 of the 12-lap sprint race. Closest battle towards the front is for the lead. So Suzuka F1 he's braking early. He's purposely braked early so we can get a good round out of turn 3, and we'll have the DRS again heading to turn 4. He might go for a move down the inside of William here. Simple has dropped down the order a lot, so there might have been some contact further down the field. Racing Wheel is losing some position, so maybe there was contact between them. Also, Simple's teammate Verdugo and the other Haas is losing position, so not a great start of the race for Haas. And there we have Skid Solo in 18th place. He had to pick due to front wing damage. And there's Ibo behind him, not sure what happened to him. I think he was involved in the contact on the first lap. That's Yax getting position on Quincy, P10. A lot of understeer there for William, coming out of turn 9 and turn 2. That's going to give Suzuka F1. He might go for a move down the inside here. Very tricky to overtake here. You can easily become vulnerable on the exit if you go for a move down the inside there. The better overtaking opportunity is in the following corners. So that's turn 3 and turn 4. Yeah, so he's going to go down the inside here. That's Suzuka F1. Going to try and take the lead of the race. Have the inside line coming out of turn 3. Simple has got ahead of Sebastian. Sebastian has lost a lot of places there. Close battle for 3rd place at the moment. So that is Andrew down the inside at Race Chase. Race Chase isn't really in the fight for the championship, so that was a critical move for Andrew, who is in the fight for the championship. I wonder if Racing Wheel has a bit of damage in the Alpine, because he's lost a lot of positions, and Skid Solo, who's already pitted, has got ahead of him as well. Yeah, so Racing Wheel pits. He comes out just ahead of Ibo. He'll actually be battling with Ibo as they start lap 4. If Ibo goes for a move down the inside here. The Racing will manage to defend the position. Let's go back on board with our leaders, who are close to putting a lap on the back two already. It's a very short lap here in Austria. I think it's the shortest lap in the calendar, closely followed by Monaco, if that's in the Marble Racing League calendar. Dukafon going to go for move for the lead again. No, he backs out. Andrew Bastian has DNF from the session, so I wonder if we're going to get a safety car here. He was very close to Skid Solo and Sinful, so maybe there was contact between them. This battle is still a 5-way battle between 3rd and I think 10th place, yeah. Bit of a gap back to Quincy, who's battling with Yax for 9th place. There is no safety car, so racing is going as normal at the moment. There's no safety car, despite Sebastian retiring from the session. Ooh, very close for RQ34, the other McLaren. Close to losing his front wing there. Good exit by Diego, who is gonna go for a move down the inside of Daryl. He's done it already before turn 3. So Daryl, who is 3rd place in the championship. Ooh, there's a lot of contact there, and that is the Red Bull of Tronk getting some front wing damage there. He's lost his front right end plates, so he won't lose. He might not need to pit. He won't lose too much time from that. But he will become under pressure quickly. That's the Williams of Diego looking for a move down the inside of Daryl. So this 6-way battle is split into 2 groups of 3. So there's a battle for 3rd place and a battle for 6th place. Or maybe not, because Trunk is really starting to struggle with that end plate damage, and they're going to go side by side in turn 9. You don't see many moves there. Interesting route into the pit lane by Trunk there. He comes to pits for a new front wing. He's clearly using a lot of time there. That will unfortunately drop him outside the top 10. Side by side between Yax and Quincy as they head into lap 7. Quincy with a slightly better exit there than Yax, but Yax gets the DRS and has already made the move past Quincy even by turn 2, and now heading towards turn 3. There's been a change for the lead, so that's Sucre F1, who's finally decided to get ahead of William Lofgren. But I'm sure William will stay in DRS until the end of the race. It's a very close battle between these two for most of these races. Very close between RK44. He's been well inside the top 10 for the previous few races. He started off the season with very few points, but has managed to end up on 26 points, and it's nearly got the same amount of points as his teammate Skid Solo. Could have more points than his teammate after the sprint race, by the way things are going. Diego nearly going for me down the inside there of RQ44. Just ahead of them is Darryl in the Aston Martin. Andrew is 5/10 ahead of him, and then we have Race Chase in the Alfa Romeo, who is 9th place in the championship with 37 points. The other Alfa Romeo, Sebastian, has unfortunately DNF'd. He is 5th place in the championship. He has won a race this season, but is starting to fall behind that battle for 2nd place in the championship. Moves further back, that looks to be Enzo, who's got ahead of both, actually might have been ahead already, of Yax and Quincy, but it's a very close battle between the two. They're going to go side by side heading into turn 7 and 8. Now heading towards turn 9 to finish lap 9. Just outside the top 10 is the reserve driver for Mercedes, that's DJ Lewis. And then we have the two Hasses in 13th and 14th position, very close to each other. Now under 2nd between the... Oh, actually, yeah, so under 2nd between the two Hasses, and he's simply starting to put pressure on Ultimate Mr. Puro. And Viraduca has got past Ultimate Mr. Puro. Yax is the 2nd driver to pick up a penalty this race, so he is under threat from falling outside the top 10. However, DJ Lewis Virus is over 5 seconds behind. Big lump up behind, that is Ultimate Stapuro going a bit wide there, and he's lost the position to Sinful and Verdugo. Interesting line heading into turn 5. Sorry, turn 4. And then there's Trunk, who unfortunately picked up wing damage. We just about caught that. He had to pit for a new front wing, and he was losing a lot of time. Ultimate Mr. Puro has managed to get back ahead of Verdugo. Sinful's got ahead of both of them, and is now up into 12th place. After having quite a messy start, he lost a lot of positions, I think on lap 2. He's edging his way further in towards the top 10. Got a big 5-way battle here. Ultimate Mr. Puro has picked up a 3-second time penalty. I would imagine that's for track limits. Race Chase has lost a position to Andrew, so Andrew's now up into 3rd place. And let's see if Race Chase can get him back. Side by side between Daryl and RQ44. And there's contact. RQ44 nearly leaps it round at turn 4. Could possibly be side pull damage for Daryl, but there won't be too much damage. It wasn't that big of contact. Only minor contact. Let's see how far Diego is after that. So Diego and Enzo. Enzo is nearly 3 seconds behind that train. The contact has brought Diego closer to this 5-way battle for 3rd place. Track limits is a very big challenge on this track. And now we're seeing a lot of drivers picking up penalties as a result of it. There's 4 drivers now with penalties, so that is Enzo, Yax, DJ Lewis Virus, and Ultimate Stapuro in the Aston Martin. Change the lead again, so William has got back ahead of Super F1 heading into turn 4. We've only got 1 lap of this race of the sprint race remaining, so it's still a very close battle at the front. Ultimate Stapuro has retired from the session. I wonder what happened there. So, and the other Aston Martin has retired from the session too. So disaster for Aston Martin at lap 11. Not sure if there was contact between Darren and another driver, but you might have lost it by himself, I'm not sure. But yeah, both Aston Martins DNFing on the penultimate lap of the sprint race, and they'll be starting far down the order for the 36 lap race later. And there's a change for the lead again, so we're heading... Ooh, big contact between William and Super F1 there, but they managed to get away cleanly. William is now momentarily taking the lead. And they managed to get back ahead of Sucre F1, so Sucre F1 might need to settle for 2nd here. There aren't many overtaking opportunities for the rest of the lap. Diego in the other Williams is looking for a move down the inside of RQ44. Big slide coming out the exit there. That's going to give a great opportunity to RQ44 heading to turn 6. Very difficult to overtake there though, so you might need to settle for 6th. None of the top 7 have penalties. All big lock up there by RQ44. But William Lofgren has lost a position, so I thought it was all over, but it wasn't. So Sucre F1 has managed to take away the pole position for the 36th lap race here at Austria today, just at the line. So it was very close between the two. I wonder if William made a mistake on the final few corners, if he looked to be in control of this race before the final few corners. Race Chase managed to get back up into P3 in the Alfa Romeo. He managed to get ahead of Andrew in the closing stages of the sprint race. And Diego, who had an excellent race, managed to finish P5. So Williams having a great race there. Ferrari also having a good race, so they've got both their drivers in the top 10. RK44, Quincy, Yax and Trunk also managed to get inside the top 10. 2 drivers, both Hassers were just outside the top 10, so that's Simple and Verdugo. I think are both outside the top 10 in the championship standings. Then we have DJ Lewis Virus in the other Mercedes in 13th. Skid Solo will be 14th. And then we have Racing Mule, who's coming across the line now. that's it for the sprint race. We've got the main race coming up shortly, in probably around like 3 minutes time or something. RK44 is the driver of the day. He managed to make up lots of positions and managed to finish in 6th place. So good result by him. Those are the results for the sprint race then. So Sucre F1, our championship leader, managed to take 1st place away from the driver who's 2nd place in the championship, William, on the final corner of the lap. So very close battle between the two. Bit of a gap down back to race chasing the Alfa Romeo. Then comes Andrew, Diego, RK44, Quincy, Enzo, Yacht, and Trunk wrapping up the top 10. Sinful, Veriduco, DJ Lewis Virus, Skid Solo, Racing Wheel, and Ibo wrapping up our finishers. Both Aston Martins, Darrell Ultimate Superior, and Sebastian DNF'd in the sprint race, and will need to have a great start in order to maintain their positions in the championship by the end of this round. So for those who've just joined, we're here for round 11 of the championship. So we've had a sprint race already, and now we've got the main race, which I think is either 35 or 36 laps. We have Sucre F1, our championship leader, in pole position, and then we have William, who is 2nd place in the championship, in 2nd place. That's wrapping up the front row. Race Chase and Andrew managed to maintain their positions after the sprint race, so they lock out row 2. Then comes Diego and RK44, who gained a lot of positions during the sprint race, so they lock out row 3. I think after that comes Quincy and Enzo, the reserve driver for Ferrari this season, and I can't remember who was just about made it inside the top 10. The Hasses and DJ Lewis Virus were just outside the top 10. But at the back of the grid is Darrell, well, both Aston Martins and Sebastian, who will need to make up a lot of positions in order to, well, for Darrell to maintain his 3rd place in the championship. He's under a lot of pressure from Andrew in the Red Bull in the standings. And then Sebastian, well, he has actually quite a large gap to Yax, who is in 6th place behind him. Race should be starting in about a minute's time, so just waiting for drivers to select their strategies and fuel loads. Okay, so we're ready to go racing. Let's see if Sucre F1 can extend his championship lead by the end of this one. We are underway, so Sucre F1 has a very good start. William has also had a very good start and has managed to maintain the second place. Side by side once again between Andrew. And it's very close there between Enzo, RQ44, nearly 5 wide there. And a bit of contact there for the back. But it's Sucre F1 who managed to get a big gap on William Lofgren in the Ferrari. Diego has had a good start, as has Quincy, who's gained a place. RQ44 has lost places. Big battling behind here, so that's Sebastian trying to make a lot of moves there. A lot of pressure on him to get back inside the top 10 as he's in a high position in the championship standings. So is Daryl, who is currently in last place. Actually no longer in last place. Bit wide there from Enzo, that's going to give a great opportunity to DJ Lewis. Contact between the two. And a bit of Constantina there. Enzo's now dropped outside the top 10. Sebastian is going to look to move down the inside there. A lot of battling between Quincy and Diego. They're going to go side by side heading into the final few corners of the opening lap of round 11. Ooh, a bit of contact there. And Diego has the inside line. Can he make the corner? Yes, he can. Yacht is just behind them, waiting to see if they hold each other up. Very close battling between Enzo and Ultimate Takuro. And Sebastian also. Oh, and that's Veriduco having a bit of contact there between him and Skid Solo. Someone lost their from again plate, I'm not sure who. Might have been the Aston Martin of Ultimate Supero, who has lost a position to his teammate. That's Daryl down the inside of his teammate there. He is third place in the championship, and Andrew, his championship rival at the moment, is in second place, so he needs to make his way up into the top 10 ASAP if he wants to maintain that third place. Oh, and that's a spin for Daryl, so he is dropped further down the order. He is now in plumb last. A disastrous start for Daryl in the Aston Martin. Yellow flag again, that might be for DJ Lewis Virus. Let's go on board with him. Yeah, so he is dropped it in the gravel there, coming into turn 7, so he's got back on the way. And he's got Daryl right behind him, so that's Ivo losing a place to Skid Solo. Skid Solo is the only driver so far to pick up a penalty. We're on lap 3 now already of 36. On board with Enzo, who's nearly made his way back up inside the top 10. However, he's lost position to Sebastian. And William Lofgren lost place to Andrew, but managed to get back ahead of him. So let's go on board back with our leader, Sucre F1, who's managed to get a 3-second gap. I wonder if William made a mistake on lap 2, because that gap has grown quite a lot since the first lap. A big DRS train could be about to form, as DRS has been enabled now, and a lot of drivers from third place onwards within the DRS range. Apart from Simple, who's wrapping up the top 10 there, he's got Sebastian, Enzo behind him, and then there's a bit of a gap back to Racing Wheel in the Alpine. The only Alpine for this round, unlike all the other teams which have 2 drivers for this round. There you've got Skid Solo putting a lot of pressure on him, and be very brave to make a move around the outside there. Racing Wheel goes wide, and we'll have the outside line. That's going to give a great opportunity to Ibo, who might go for a move down the inside of Skid Solo here. He might just wait until the second DRS zone, so... Okay, so that's Sebastian, who has already made his way up into the top 10. Good progress from him so far, we were expecting that. And so Simple has dropped outside the top 10. The reserve driver for Mercedes this weekend, so that's DJ Lewis Virus, has picked up the penalty. I think it's for track limits. Looks like Yax might have had a moment coming out of turn 4. He's lost a place to RK44, and he's got Trunk right behind him too. There you can see Sebastian in the Alfa Romeo. He's about 1.5 seconds behind, and then Simple is just over a second behind him. Enzo is just over a second behind Simple, and nearly 6 seconds back is Skid Solo. Close battle between these three, so that's Skid Solo, Racing Wheel, and Ibo fighting for 13th place. And then Close battle between DJ Lewis Virus and Ultimus Tapuro. That's a battle for 17th place. Let's go on board with our leader on lap 5. So that's Sucre F1. That gap has now stayed within the 3.3, 3.4 second range. So William has not lost any more time. I wonder if it was just a mistake earlier in the race that cost him a lot of time there. He was battling with Andrew though quite a lot on the opening stage of the race. Race Chase, who was lost a position since the start, but Andrew managed to get ahead of him and was momentarily in second place. Diego's managed to maintain his 5th position. Quincy has gained a place ahead of RK44, so they have swapped positions since the start. There is a yellow flag in sector 2, I wonder what that's for. Yellow flag is now gone. All 19 runners are still in the race at the moment, so that's good. Not a great race currently for Aston Martin, who are in 18th and 19th place. Side-by-side action between Trunk and... oh no, not Trunk. Andrew and William... oh no, Andrew and Race Chase. They're going side-by-side into turn 3. Diego is right behind them, having a great race for Williams. Both Williams drivers looking to score big points this weekend and extending their championship lead in the team standings. Ferrari are second place in the standings, with only one driver currently in the top 10. Yax has got a penalty, but has managed to get past Sebastian. However, Sebastian will have the inside line. Yax goes a bit wide, so that makes him bottom of the exit, so he's dropped to 10th place. Sinful is just under 3 seconds behind, and has got Enzo right behind him. Both Veriduco and DJ Lewis Virus have pitted. So DJ Lewis Virus have pitted hard tyres, and Veriduco has pitted for a new set of soft tyres. So he's probably damaging on the safety car, or could be going for an aggressive strategy. Let's look at the position changes. So Andrew managed to get ahead of Race Chase, Quincy ahead of RK34, Trunk and Sebastian, especially Sebastian, getting a lot of places there. Yax have lost a place, and is under threat of losing more due to the penalty. And then we have Enzo, who's lost a few places at the start. All the drivers behind him have gained a place. Verduca and DJ Lewis are the biggest losers in terms of position so far. If they have to pit, they might go in these positions back later in the race. They've stopped very early, and it's starting to get a bit cloudy, so I wonder if there's some rain coming midway through the race. Ooh, that's late on the brakes for DJ Lewis Virus. The soft tyre is starting to wear out for Secret F1. The gap is now closed between him and William, who's in the hard tyres. So that gap is closed from 2.3 seconds to 1.4. Andrew in the medium tyres is right behind him, and also within DRS range of Andrew is Race Chase. And Diego is at the back of this DRS train for second position. Could be about to become a 5-way DRS train to the lead, as William managed to catch up to Secret F1. That gap is now closed to 1.2 seconds. Nearly using it as Diego on the medium tyre. Quincy's just outside this DRS range, this DRS train, in 6th place in the Mercedes. Mercedes are currently 9th place in the standings, but they're not far behind McLaren and Haas, who are in 8th and 7th place in the team standings. Trunk is just behind him, in between actually Quincy and Trunk is RK34. He's on track to score another big points haul. Then behind Trunk is the fast charging Sebastian, who started in the very back, but has now managed to gain 10 places so far, and we're only on that line. However, Austria is a very good track for overtaking, so big changes in positions are expected throughout the race. Strategy is also really important. Safety cars aren't too likely, aren't too common here. Lock up there from Diego, once again nearly looping there at the exit turn 4. There have been a change in lead, so that's Suka F1 losing place to Williams, who's now a race leader on the hard tyres. The only other driver who started on the hard tyres was Darrell, who was also a championship contender. He had unfortunately in 14th place after spinning on the opening lap. Getting on to lap 10 then of 36, so we have Andrew then 3rd place. Race chase, not much ERS at the moment. All that is a few drops of rain, so we... Okay. Here's where the strategy will start to get interesting. The rain is starting to fall. I wonder if Super F1, he might as well not pit, he might as well stay out and pray for the rain to come as soon as possible, because those soft tyres are starting to go quite quickly. So I doubt we'll see anyone pit now. Possibly those towards the back of the field will gamble and switch to the intermediates now. We see that with Racing Wheel, who has dropped to 18th place. So has Darrell. He might as well go for the gamble. Points seem unlikely to him unless have a safety car, which is becoming increasingly likely as the rain is starting to fall quite heavily. By the looks of things, the track will be suitable for intermediate tyres in a few laps time. So it's looking that we'll have quite a bit over half, I would say like 70% of the race being on intermediate tyres. The driver will make their mandatory pit stop then. There's a brief yellow flag, I wonder if that was for Ivo. He's just come out of where that yellow flag was. Little lock up there from Andrew, defends the inside line there. Track is starting to become a bit slippery, so you can see drivers are getting a lot of oversteer and understeer going over corners. Let's go on board with drivers who's wrapping up the top 10 at the moment. That's Simple in the hats. He got skid solo, right, a few seconds behind him. They're on the soft tyres, 10 lap old soft tyres. They'll be trying to stay out. They will want to switch to the intermediate tyres as soon as possible as those soft tyres start to wear out. Bit of an awkward gamble by Quincy, who's on a new set of hard tyres. Who else is pitted? Oh, okay, so that's Ivo changing into the intermediates. If the rain only remains at this intensity, we might not even need intermediate tyres. So maybe that's what Quincy is trying to do. In 12th place in the Mercedes on a new set of hard tyres. On board with him now. The only other drivers on hard tyres are a leader, William Lochgren, who's on a new set of hard tyres, so he can use them for the entire race. DJ Lewis, Virus, pitted earlier in the race for a new set of hard tyres. The track is starting to get quite slippery now, so 25% of the field have intermediate tyres on at the moment. We could have our 6th runner on the intermediates very shortly, as we see Veriduco in 8th place coming to the pits. Let's see if he switches to the intermediate tyre. Yeah, so it is a fresh set of intermediates for Veriduco. We have been lapped by our leaders. Super F1 on the soft tyre is right behind him. Fuel is starting to spread out a bit as drivers are taking extra care due to the wet surface. Very easy to spin in these conditions, very tricky conditions for the drivers. Good consistent race by Alfa Romeo at the moment, so they have both their drivers in the top 6, 5th and 6th place. Diego is starting to put pressure on Andrew. He's gained a place ahead of Race Chase, who has fallen to 5th place. Andrew seems to be struggling a bit on those medium tyres. Diego seems to be pushing very hard. There was a brief yellow flag there. That is Ivo slowing down. Letting some drivers by. lots of drivers doing a lap on him. Then there's Veriduke, who's just behind him, 6 seconds behind him. We have Racing Wheel, just heading towards turn 1 now. So now we're starting to see some of the front runners coming to the pits for a fresh set of intermediate tyres. Let's see how the leaders respond. So crucial laps for all the top 10 now. So let's see if Race Chase can actually undercut, and RK44. Let's see if they can undercut possibly our leaders. Anything can happen in a dry to wet race. So if the track is noticeably more slippery, large percentage of the field now are on intermediates. Only the top 8, plus Ultimate Sakura, who's now changed into intermediates, has gone onto the intermediate tyres. There is a yellow flag in sector 2. I wonder if that is for Ivo again. Let's go on board as Yaxed. Okay, let's see if any of our leads pit. So that is okay. So Andrew pits. However, our top 2, they look to be staying out. Okay. Daryl has retired from the session. The driver who was 3rd place in the championship, was in 2nd place a few rounds ago, has had a DNF. So it's no points for him this round. He's only 13 points ahead of Andrew, so he's under threat of dropping to 4th place in the standings, and we have a safety car too. So very good opportunity for the drivers who haven't pitted in minutes to change to the intermediates, so that will benefit our leaders, William Lofgren, Zuko F1, and Sebastian, who started in last place, in 3rd place, and will only lose a few positions in the pit lane, as the safety cars come out and everyone will have to follow the delta. Quincy is going to change from his hard tyres to the intermediates. He's now on a new set of intermediates. Let's go on board with him. Enzo has managed to gain the pace to him. Veriduke has also retired to the session, so that's 2 drivers out the race. 17 remain. Oh, and there looks to be a collision during the safety car, so that's between Trunk, and I wonder if that is with Yax and Race Chase. Let's see if any of them have wing damage. It's now starting to heavily rain now, so it still looks to be that the intermediates will be the quickest tyre. Definitely not the right conditions for full wets at the moment. So that's now everyone who's pitted for the intermediate tyres. All the runners are on the intermediates now. The leaders are on the freshest set of intermediates. Will be quite close between Sebastian and Andrew. Heading towards the pit lane exit. Yeah, so Andrew managed to jump him. Sebastian, however, is on a fresh set of hard tyres, interestingly. Okay, so that's a very interesting call from Sebastian. He is expecting the rain to stop and for the track to dry out. We'll see if that happens. He's the only driver to do that. Then we have Diego in 5th place. Race Chase in the Alfa Romeo in 6th place. Chonk in 7th place. RK44 and the McLaren in 8th place. Simple and Enzo round at the top 10. Skid Solo is just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Quincy is in 12th after gambling with the hard tyres, a strategy which hasn't paid off so far. But he's in 12th place, isn't far outside the top 10, far away from the top 10. And then we have Yaxt, who has dropped 2 positions during the safety car, so he's in 13th place. I wonder if he was the driver who had contact with Trunk, who's in 7th place in the Red Bull. Ultimate Mr. Puro, who has been dropping down the order since the start of the race, is now in 14th place. His teammate Daryl, who was under threat of losing his 3rd place in the driver standings, has DNF'd from the race, unfortunately. There we see Diego pitting again. Is he following what Sebastian? Is he following Sebastian's strategy of pitting for a set of slick tyres? Apparently, a lot of black on the server. Oh dear, so the two Aston Martins apparently collided. So that's caused Darrell DNF. So Darrell is out the race, unfortunately. Okay. Is that Diego overtaking under safety car? I'm not sure. You have actually quite a few drivers on slick tyres now, so that's DJ Lewis Virus on a fresh set of soft tyres, so let's see how that works out. Racing wheels and hard tyres now, so I wonder if this rain will start to ease off. So we've got a gamble here going on for a Bastion, and then Racing Wheel and DJ Lewis Virus. But the main driver to watch out is Bastion. Let's see if this strategy benefits him. It could be a complete disaster, we'll see. Safety car is probably going to come in at the end of lap 18. Oh dear. Ultimate Mr. Puro does have a penalty. I wonder if that's for the collision. Let's see the penalties. Yeah, so a 3-second penalty there. That could have been for track limits. Yax has picked up a 6-second penalty. I think that was for the collision under the safety car with Trunk. Trunk has also got a 3-second penalty. There we see Racing Wheel and DJ Lewis Virus catching up to the rest of the pack. They should catch up by the safety car restarts. The first safety car restart, we'll see how many there are. In this race there could definitely be more, especially in these conditions. Okay. So as expected, safety car at the end of lap 18. Okay. This year Bastion, they're making 15 positions since the start. He started in 19th. Has managed to make his way up the field very quickly. We're well into the final sector now. So let's go. Okay. Let's go on board with William, who's gonna start to carry out this restart. The first safety car restart of this race. There could be more. See how early he goes. Suka F1 is right behind him. And he goes now, so that is... Okay, so Suka F1 has had a very good restart. He's right on the tail of William. Might go through down the inside here, no he won't. Anyone going side by side there, so that is Diego and Simple going side by side there. Ooh, and that's Yax losing a lot of places there. Oh no, that's actually Ibo who's a lap down, letting everyone by. Now we're heading towards turn 3, lots of moves can be made down here. Nearly moved to the lead there, and that is Andrew battling with Sebastian. And that's RK44 battling with Race Chase as well. Big slide from Simple in the Haas, who's in 8th place. Has managed to gain a few positions at the restart there. Diego has lost a few positions and has picked up a penalty. Quincy rounds out the top 10. The biggest losers of that restart were Yax and I think, oh yeah, so Yax has dropped outside the top 10. And Diego has lost quite a few places too. So we're just past the halfway point of this race. So our leader William, who's second place in the championship, is just behind our championship leader currently, so that is Secret F1 in the Williams in second place. Williams are on track to extend their gap in the team standings. There is a yellow flag at the end of Sector 3, that's turn 10. That is for the other Aston Martin with contact with his teammate. To have had some kind of incident at the end of lap 19. Oh, and there's a big crash there. So that is RK44, Simple involved too. A lot of drivers involved there. Someone probably turned in on the straight there because a lot of drivers were just stationary there. Don't know what happened. Going very slowly out the corner. So I think there was contact there between Sinful and RK44. They both lost the position to Ultra Mr. Puro, who's managed to make his way nearly up into the top 10 already. Nearly contact there between the two. RK44 has dropped place to Sinful. Sinful's going to try and go for a move down the inside of Mr. Puro here. Yes, he's heading towards turn 7 now. Let's go back on board with our leaders, because they are not far away from each other as we head into lap 21 of 36. Skid Solo is our 9th driver to pick up a penalty, so that is over half of the drivers remaining who have a penalty. Sebastian has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he is DNF'd from the session. So, after a great comeback on the first half of the race, Sebastian has unfortunately DNF'd. So that's 2 of our championship contenders out of the race for round 11 of 18 of season 5 of the Marvel Racing League. Yeah, so not good news for Alfa Romeo 2. I think they're very close to Aston Martin. Have Aston Martin are also not having a great race, so it looks like both those teams will maintain their positions in the championship. However, we'll be losing. They'll be quite a way behind our top 3 in the championship, so that's Red Bull, Ferrari and Williams, our team standings leader currently. The field has spread out a bit, so it's just a battle between the top 2 at the moment. Let's go on board with Andrew, who's having a bit of a race of his own at the moment. Comfortably hanging on to 3rd place. Red Bull are having a very good race at the moment, currently. However, I won't say much more because I've jinxed a lot of drivers so far. Quincy is in 5th place in the Mercedes. I think he started. Oh yeah, he started in 7th place. Lost positions at the start, but has managed to make his way back up to the top 5. Just keeping it clean. There was a big incident a few laps ago. And that's Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari going side by side. Ooh, and that's a big crash there for Enzo, who's lost it coming out of turn 10. He's going to drop outside the top 10, probably. Actually, he might just about stay inside the top 10, as Ultimate Puro and the Aston Martin is nearly 15 seconds behind him. Does seem to have a bit of wing damage though, so he's lost his front right end plates. Close battle here between Ultimate Mr. Puro. Ooh, and there's a yellow flag there. I wonder what that's for. That is Williams. So the driver who was in 2nd place is now under big pressure from Tronk, who was in 4th place. Andrew's already got ahead of him. So that's both Red Bulls into the podium positions. Let's see if Quincy can join the battle too. So he's in 5th place and is almost under. It is around a second gap, and now under a second between Quincy and William. Let's see if he's picked up damage. There could have been contact between the two. There has been contact. So William has. There has been contact. There probably was contact between the top 2 drivers. He's lost his front right end plates. The other Ferrari have got his front right end plate missing too. Bizarre coincidence. But William is going to lose a bit of time there. He's going to come under big pressure from Quincy in the Mercedes. On board with Enzo now, who will probably want to change his front wing as a result of the damage he picked up from the spin he had earlier. He clobbered the barriers right there at the exit of turn 10. Let's go on board with Ultimate Mr. Puro, who has somehow managed to make his way back into 10th place. He does have a 3-second penalty though, so although all the drivers around him have penalties too, so Aston Martin are looking to score a few points, unlike Alfa Romeo are actually looking to score quite a lot of points too. That's Race Chase in 6th place. Oh, Ultimate Mr. Puro nearly losing it, coming out of 10-3 there. And that's DJ Luis Tavares, the reserve driver for Mercedes today. Very close to Ultimate Mr. Puro there. Close battle between Diego, Skid Solo, and Yax. They all the penalties, so this is a battle for position. The close three-wheel battle between those three, a battle for 7th place. Oh, Race Chase is actually just ahead of him, so it's technically a four-way battle. Very close between William and Quincy. The win is getting out of reach for William, who has picked up some damage. I wonder if there was contact between the leaders. If there was, I have no clue who was at fault. So all I know is that Williams picked up damage. Yeah, Quincy's putting a lot of pressure on him. Now that we've only got 11 laps to go and the rain isn't easing off, I would imagine it would be a flat-out stint to the end of the race. Battle for 12th place, so that is between Racing and Simful. So Simful, who had a collision with McLaren, I think, a few laps ago, have managed to get himself back up into 12th place. And there we go, so Quincy has got ahead of William. And is up into 4th place, having a great race. He did have a great race last time out in China. I think he finished just outside the top 10. But Quincy didn't have a great exit and has given the place back to William. So William is back up into 4th place. Quincy's dropped back down to 5th. But he's going to go for a move down the inside here. William goes a bit wide there. That's going to give an opportunity to Quincy heading down towards turn 4. That is Ultimate Mr. Puro pitting in the Aston Martin. They're unlikely to score any points this round. Race Chase, so Alfa Romeo, it's looking increasingly likely that Alfa Romeo will jump Aston Martin in the team standings by the end of this round. The very close battle between Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo in the standings, as well as Red Bull and Ferrari. They're only 10 points apart. And also Williams, they're only around 40 points ahead of Ferrari, so close battle between the top 3 there. Big gap down to AlphaTauri, who have pulled the gap compared to the rest of the field, so that's Haas, McLaren, Mercedes and Alpine. Haas has a point tally so far of 52 points. They're only 1 point ahead of McLaren. So close battle between them. Every point matters for them this round if they're looking to maintain their position in the championship. We still have 7 rounds to go after this one, so no one's out of championship contention just yet. But we are quite a way past the halfway distance now for Season 5 of the Map Racing League. Back on board with William, who has lost place to Trunk. Trunk has now dropped down to P5, I'm not sure what happened there. Andrew is now comfortably in 2nd place. Have a large gap to William. William has picked up a penalty, who has the end plate damage. That's Ibo pitting for a fresh set of immediate tyres possibly. He's nearly 2 laps down. A few laps ago, it was a 3-lap battle between McLaren, Yax and Diego. However, Yax has fallen away from the other two. So, and Diego comes into the pits, so they're pitting for new tyres. That's Enzo there in 12th place. DJ Lewis Virus is currently in 10th place for Mercedes, both Mercedes in the top 10. A lot of drivers pitting for a new set of intermediates, so we'll see if the leaders do that at any point soon. Very close battle there between 4th, 5th, and that's William Lofgren pushed into the gravel there by very close between him and Quincy, and he's also lost a place to Trunk, so he's down to 5th place. Not a great second half to the race for William, but there's not much he can do. He's got, as you can see there, he's got damage to that front wing end plate. That's Enzo there, sliding his way through the corner of turn 4. Very easy to loop around there, especially in the wet conditions. And there we see William, he's got the end plate damage, but he's going to go for a move down the inside of Trunk there. He's back up into 4th place. And now Trunk has dropped to 5th place. Becoming increasingly likely for Quincy to get a podium here. He's in 3rd place, and the driver behind him both have a penalty. He's yet to pick up a penalty, unlike most of the drivers so far. There's only 4 drivers who don't have penalties. That's Sukov 1 in 1st place, Andrew in 2nd, Quincy in 3rd. There's Race Chase who also has got a penalty. Oh, and there's 5 of them, so Simple also doesn't have a penalty. So I imagine Simple wasn't at fault for that collision between him and one of the McLarens, possibly. There were some other cars involved too, in the midfield. And that is Quincy pitting for a new set of intermediate tyres. So let's see how the drivers who was battling with respond. So we could see Trunk and William come to the pits by the end of this lap. I would imagine that Sukov 1 and Andrew will stay out on their own set of intermediates. Race Chase managed to jump Quincy in the pit lane, but I think Quincy will come out the pit lane in 6th place, as Skidfellow is just coming out the final corner now. Yeah, so that's Quincy leaving the pit lane. He is going to chase down that final place in the podium. Yeah, any of that top tops between 3rd and 6th place have a great opportunity of getting that final podium place in the closing laps of round 11 of this sprint weekend here at Austria. Oh, that's very close to losing it for both DJ Lewis Virus and RK44. RK44 had a good start to the race, but I think he got involved in the collision with Simple and is now dropped outside the top 10. That's Ultra Mr. Puro battling with Simple, so Simple has got ahead of Mr. Puro. Yellow flag in sector 3, that's Ibo getting out the way of another driver. He's getting out the way of Diego, who's now put 2 laps on the AlphaTauri driver. Yeah, so Quincy is chasing the 3rd, 4th and 5th place drivers very quickly. He's very close to Race Chase in the Alfa Romeo now. That gap is closing rapidly. We've only got 5 laps to go though, so he's got to have a monster of a stint to catch up to the 3rd and 4th place drivers of William and Trunk. What has happened there? So we seem to have another safety car. That is Endo, who has run into trouble coming out of turn 1. He has lost his front wing completely. And that has given, once again, a great opportunity to our leaders to pit for a fresh set of intermediates. As I said that, it's given a great opportunity to William, who has pitted already because of the safety car. They have stayed out though, so that's Andrew and Zuko F1 staying out. Ultimate Mr. Pura has retired from the session, so that's both Aston Martins DNFing. Double DNF for Aston Martin, unfortunately. Ooh, very close there between Trunk and Quincy coming out the pit exit. So currently both Red Bulls are in second and third position. They're on for great results. Looking to close the gap to Ferrari. They're likely to get ahead of Ferrari by the end of this round as things stand. That could easily change though. We're likely to get 3 laps of racing from the restart onwards to the end of the race. It'll be a very close battle between for our 15 cars remaining, and now that Ultimate Mr. Pura is out the race. So as expected, our leaders pit, so that's Secret F1 and Andrew in the Red Bull pitting. Trunk has already pitted, so they're going to stay out this time round. There we see Secret F1 catching up to the safety car, so he'll be controlling the safety car, the second safety car restart. He's just ahead of Andrew. Chonk is there in third place. Quincy in fourth, looking to take back that podium position that he was in, I think it was 10 laps ago. Hopefully William has managed to change his front wing in the pit lane too. Yep, good. And let's take a look at the tyre. So some drivers are on the full wets, interestingly. Bit of a gamble from Racing Wheel, DJ Lewis Virus, Simple, and Ibo. So they're on the full wets. Ibo's been and Racing Wheel have been on the full wets for 5 laps now. So let's see how that's. We've got to watch out for them. Let's see if they can make themselves comfortably inside the top 10 by the end of this race. Safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap. The rain has picked up. The rain intensity has picked up, so maybe full wets was the right call. So Simple is now changed. He's actually changed back to intermediates. The track doesn't look wet enough for full wets by the look of things. So it looks like we're going to get racing action back on the way on lap 34. So we'll have 3 laps of racing action to wrap up round 11 of 18 of season 5 of the Map Racing League Championship. It's looking increasingly likely that Suko F1 will extend his gap of which is nearly 50 points now. So he's clearly the championship favourite. William is very likely to extend that gap to Darrell as long as he remains well inside the top 10. So he's currently 5 points ahead of Darrell. Darrell cannot score any points this round. He is already DNF'd. William is still in the race. Andrew is only 13 points behind Darrell, and he's currently on track to score 18 points. So he could take up 13. He could take off third place in the championship. Now that we're well into Sector 3, we're going to go back on board with our leaders. So that's Suko F1 and Andrew. Okay. Let's see if Sucre F1 can go as early as William did. Last restart, he goes much earlier than William did in the first safety car restart. So 3 laps to the side descent. Sucre F1 starts our second safety car restart of the round. Andrew's right behind him in second place. Sucre F1 follows him. Quincy had a good restart there. He's right behind Trunk. And then there's William, who's quite a fair chunk behind Quincy. So, and then we have Race Chase, who there's a bit of a gap between those two, and also between Yax. Quite a big field spread there. We've only got 15 drivers remaining in the race. Simple is quite has lost quite a lot of time there. I'm not sure what happened. That's Enzo there, right at the back of Racing Wheel in the Alpine. Let's go back on board with our leaders though. That's Quincy and William and Trunk, almost all of them nearly side by side into turn 6. That one's, yeah. And they're going side by side now, so let's go on board with them. Very, very close there between Trunk. Quincy forces Trunk out wide. Impossible to go side by side through there. And William takes advantage of that. So he's up into 4th place. He's looking to get himself back into the podium positions. Both McLarens wrap up the top 10. DJ Lewis Virus is in the Mercedes in 11th place. There's been a change for positions, so that William has got himself up into 3rd place. However, Quincy is not going to give up. He's going to go around the outside here. And we see the Mercedes get past the Ferrari. No, not quite. William covers that outside line. Quincy has nowhere to go, so he's going to have to settle for 4th place for the moment. But as we saw, there was a move for the lead on the final few corners. There won't be one this time unless Sucre F1 makes a big mistake. He is on track to get his 7th win of the season. Let's go on board with him then. It was a close battle for the first half of the race. It was a dominant performance by Sucre F1 on the second half of the race. On the intermediate tyres, he wins ahead of Andrew in 2nd place. Quincy has managed to get ahead of William, who got a penalty. Race Chase is in 4th place. Trunk finished 6th. Yaxt, Arco 54, Skid Solo, both McLarens in the top 10. Diego wrapping up the top 10. Racing Wheel finished 11th. Enzo finished 12th. Then comes DJ Lewis Virus, Sinful, and Ibo, who's a few laps down. And will finish in 15th place. The very chaotic race here in Austria today. Very changeable conditions, a dry to wet race. Plus a sprint race too, so a lot of action for round 11. And much more entertaining than the previous round in Shanghai. Not too many battles going on there, but a lot of battles going on in this round. That's our podium then, so that is Sucre F1, Quincy and Andrew on the podium for round 11. And the next round on the 14th of April is at Albert Park. It's Australia. Always an exciting race. Let's look at the results then. So sprint race, Sucre F1 won that one at the very last second, and Sucre F1 also won the main race. So very strong performance by him throughout the entirety of round 11. Quite a lot of drivers quite shocked by the one-shot qualifying if it was their first time participating in the sprint race weekend, that might have caught them out a bit. That might cause some changes, some shuffling in the driver standings. We are likely to see some of that even towards the top 5, because it's very close between William Darrell and Andrew Sebastian. Heading into round 12, which will be at Albert Park. That's it for round 11. We'll see you and round 12 in a week's time. Thank you for watching.